You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Tuesday, May 12. I'd like to share some thoughts about stock investors.
You've got a dense stack of financial notes, union filings, and trade agency reports to get through today.
Right, and our mission is to decode a massive structural shift happening in South Korean manufacturing. I mean, for decades, relying on Korean manufacturing was, well, it was like buying a Swiss watch. You paid a premium because the gears just never jammed.
Exactly. The global market always priced in that absolute labor stability.
Yeah.
But looking at these sources today, those gears are suddenly striking.
Yeah, while entirely new engines are firing up in defense and energy.
It is a really profound pivot. We are watching the transition from labor-intensive precision manufacturing, which built the modern Korean economy, right, to capital-intensive geopolitics.
Yeah.
Foreign buyers are having to recalculate everything.
And the numbers demanding that recalculation are just massive. We're looking at a May 21st strike risk at Samsung Electronics.
Which is huge.
Yeah, JP Morgan is estimating a potential 40 trillion won profit hit. But wait, when AM Senko, the American Chamber of Commerce in Korea, and companies like Apple talk about diversifying their supply chains in response, are they genuinely terrified of this 40 trillion won cliff?
Or are they just looking for an excuse?
Exactly. Are they just using the Samsung strikes as a convenient PR excuse to hunt for cheaper labor elsewhere?
Well, I mean, it really is about fundamental risk management. It's not just chasing cheap labor. That historical promise of reliability is broken.
Right.
You can't build iPhones or cars if the raw inputs are bottlenecked by gridlock. When the very components that drive modern manufacturing are suddenly unpredictable, it forces foreign procurement to trigger their contingency plans immediately.
And that contagion of unpredictability isn't just a tech problem, is it? We're seeing that exact same instability bleed into heavy industries.
Oh, absolutely.
Take PZUSCO, the major Korean steelmaker. They're facing a threat to their 58-year no-strike record. And the mechanics of this are fascinating. The company announced they're directly hiring 7,000 contract workers.
Right.
On the surface, direct hiring sounds like a massive win for labor. So why did the union immediately file for mediation?
Because it fundamentally threatens the existing union's seniority and wage structures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bringing 7,000 workers into the fold alters the balance of power. It shifts pension distributions and negotiation leverage for the veterans who have been there for decades.
So it's internal friction over how the pie is divided.
Exactly. And having simultaneous disruptions in both your primary tech and steel sectors, I mean, that represents a glaring structural red flag for the global market.
So the traditional foundation is shaking under the weight of these internal labor disputes. But flipping through the rest of these reports, the narrative drastically changes when you look outward.
It's like night and day.
Yeah. Korea's energy and defense sectors are aggressively capturing external geopolitical tailwinds.
They're operating on an entirely different wavelength right now. While legacy tech is paralyzed internally, defense and energy are actively expanding their global footprint.
Take S-Oil's recent financials. They just reported a 1.2 trillion won swing to profit.
Which is staggering.
Right. But the sources explicitly tie this to inventory changes and lagging effects from the U.S.-Iran war. A 1.2 trillion won swing looks incredible on paper, but isn't relying on the fallout from overseas conflicts, just a temporary geopolitical sugar rush.
Well, it would be if they were just pocketing the cash or doing stock buybacks.
Okay.
The distinction between an external windfall and structural growth really lies in capital allocation. The sources note S-Oil's Shaheen petrochemical project is nearing mechanical completion.
Right.
So they're taking the capital from those temporary geopolitical windfalls and locking it into permanent long-term infrastructure. They're actively converting a sugar rush into structural capacity.
And we're seeing that exact same aggressive outward momentum in defense. KOTIARA, Korea's state trade promotion agency, just secured a second major deal with Estonia for the Cheonmu multiple rocket launchers from Hanwha Aerospace.
Right, expanding into Europe.
Exactly. Even Hyundai is pushing into high-engagement global arenas with their N-Racing simulator launch.
It shows an economy that is bifurcating. One half is bogged down figuring out domestic labor gridlock, while the other half is actively capturing new global territory. KOTIARA expanding the European defense footprint isn't a reaction to the market. It is a calculated export strategy.
Which leaves us with a stark contrast to consider. We have internal labor risks threatening to permanently cripple the legacy tech and steel sectors, running parallel to this fierce outward expansion in energy and defense.
The industrial identity of the nation is being rewritten in real time.
It really is. So I want to leave you with this to mull over. If Korea's new economic identity is built on supplying global defense systems and heavy energy infrastructure rather than consumer microchips, how long until they have to start navigating the exact same geopolitical export restrictions that the U.S. and China are currently warring over?
That is a fascinating question to end on.
That's today's AI Prism, Stock Investors. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a IFRA award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.